So after a few days, everybody's probably wondering, what the hell did Bo just post? This shit is wild. Fuck. Okay, now I did a video on it before, bioenergetic catharsis. I talked about it earlier on my channel. If you're new, then you don't know, and if this was your first run-in, you probably never came back. Yo, hopefully you did. But I'm going to explain just a little more. I'm going to get a little more in depth now that you've actually seen a live demonstration of what went down. And because last time I did the video, I didn't get the chance to record it. I didn't want to set up my camera. I just went straight to releasing. I was like, I kind of want to explain this to my YouTube channel, just kind of what it is, and one day eventually show them. So one day I finally got to show y'all. I recorded this back around like early December, so I was really waiting for a while just for things, because I just wanted to wait a while before I decided to post it out. I was like, wait a minute, let's just post at the beginning of the new year. Started off with a bang, right? Bioenergetic catharsis. So, catharsis, you know, obviously being a release of energy and expression, right? Bioenergetics is more than just throwing temper tantrums. There's actually other elements to it. You just got to see one of them. You know, bioenergetics is a whole study in of itself. You know, just about charging your body, movements to get your body, you know, activated in certain ways. You can look up Elliot Hulse on this. You can literally just go look up bioenergetics. They have so many poses. You know, they have like the bow where you'll breathe like this. You know, like there's tons of things. You know, grounding. Yeah, I'm sure like somebody's run into it. If you've known my channel, you'll probably be familiar with other channels just like it. So what I kind of did, what I was shown a long time ago by him, was bioenergetic catharsis. And that's basically expression. It's like expressing emotions through the body, right? Because a lot of times what happens is that, because I wrote this down because I really got to touch on this point and make sure that y'all understand that what's kind of going on. Now, in simpler terms, you could just define this as a temper tantrum. But it's more than just rage. Rage is just an emotion I'm really in touch with. For some people, it could be crying, right? For some people, you could even do positive emotions with this. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could do any emotion and release and let it circulate completely, right? So, like, when I was doing my research paper, I found that, you know, like, around bioenergetics, because that it correlates to emotions, right? And we tend to compensate with our bodies for the lack of emotional acknowledgement and release. So what that means is basically, you know, our bodies we tend to trap our emotions in certain parts of our body where we feel them, right? Because, you know, emotions are energy in motion. So when the energy's happening and we refuse to let it take its place, and we hold it in. We say, no, we don't feel. No, it's not us. And you just try and hold it in. Just don't come out, right? And you're like holding in. So now it has to compensate. Where can it go in the body? Where can that energy go in the body since it's not being expressed? Where can it be held for later? So then what happens is that your body develops imbalances, starts to develop tightness, and sickness, illness. You start to get certain things that happen as a result of you holding on to that buildup. And eventually it just builds up so much to the point where you either release, or your body's just so fucked up because you have all this energy that's depressed inside of you, right? So bioenergetic catharsis is so great because in a situation where there's so much buildup from the body standpoint of compensating for you, right? The feelings that you get that you've been ignoring, and the emotions that have been arising in you, because we're always experiencing emotion, right? We're always experiencing certain things every single moment. Whether we feel them, though, is our brain, right? Whether we can identify that signal or not is our brain. Right? Emotions, though, are felt from the body. And then when you see me throwing myself around, screaming, yelling, doing all that shit, that's the emotion. That's the raw emotion that was put up inside of me, right? That I was experiencing, and I decided to let it take at full course. That rage and that confusion, that indecisiveness, and that sadness almost at some points. I wasn't necessarily crying. If I was, I would have told you. I kind of wanted to cry during it, but I was just so much. All of those emotions that were inside of me that day, boom, just came out. You know, once I was able to get my body going, like it took me about the first 2 minutes just to get myself to that emotion, right? Get myself on the same level, and then say, all right, look, I'm ready to express you completely by basically just doing what I would do in order to incite that anger or get into those thoughts that would give me that confusion and indecisiveness I was feeling that day, and just how that was making me react. And then boom, you know, like you heard how the scream was getting so progressive. It was just like, I remember when I was doing it, like I was just shaking so much as soon as it was happening, and then I just turned around, right? Because that emotion finally can express itself. Everything that you held inside of your body, right? That's been compensated, or at least beat down into the cages that you've put it in, right? That energy that has to come out, boom. So that's really why bioenergetic catharsis is good, or, you know, as you say, just throwing a fit, right? Throwing a fit with your body, right? Because a lot of times you can write and you can talk about shit, but the reality is that whenever confronting emotions at all, whether bioenergetic catharsis or not, you have to confront it on an emotional level. You can't take it from the mind or anywhere else. The body is just an outlet for the emotions. If that's what I'm really trying to get. I'm not trying to say all your emotions are on a physical level, but they will express themselves through a physical level, if that makes sense. Because your physical is going to react to that well, it's really going to show what that emotion is causing you to react on, or how the reaction is, if that makes sense, right? So, for example, if someone says something that really hurts me a lot, and I start to feel very sad, right? And I want to tear up a bit, but I want to suppress that back. Well, the emotion that just hit, let's say like I feel it in my stomach, like all of a sudden like my stomach just kind of sinks, and now I'm just feeling all watery, and my cheeks hurt, like they feel like hot as hell, right? And all that emotion, my physical is reacting to the energy that was just triggered in me, right? The energy that just got brought up into my body. My body's reacting to it. My body's not the emotion. It's just reacting to it. So then when you hold it in through those muscular patterns, right, it has to compensate, because it can't let itself out like it wants to. It can't actually fulfill, the energy can't actually do what it needs to do, and it can't actually come through. So that's where an art like bioenergetics would come in use, or just any method that of course would get you to react emotionally, like music, or sometimes even just talking it out with people, because I know this is one for me. Sometimes if I talk about something that I'm really emotional about, boom, I react. So I don't hold it back, you know? So, you know, unless like I don't want to act out at that moment, you know, because I know that once that response hits, boom, it's go time for me, you know? So, bioenergetics, in a simple, like, how you do it is you don't even have to ask. Just throw yourself into the emotional state. If you're crying, cry as much as possible, right? And start moving your body, right? The reason why I'm going like this with all these spastic movements is because I'm trying to let go of any patterns, right? I'm literally trying to just throw myself into any position I can, so as my body's moving, there's no holding pattern. Like, I'm just loose. You know what I'm saying? There's no, like, here I normally be cried up. Opposite. Let it out, right? Shake this shit out, you know? Because through that, you are releasing the muscular tension, the muscular compensation. That energy is going to be able to surface when you let go of the patterns. You're expressing it. So, I mean, that's simply bioenergetics. Is there any other point I wanted to touch up on? You know, I mean, that's really bioenergetics. It's allowing your body to, the best way I can really put it for you, is that it's a fit, it's throwing a fit that'll allow the emotions that you've suppressed, the energies you've suppressed, to make a full circle like it's been wanting to, right? That's it, because you do react physically. When you get angry, you get hot sometimes. You get nervous. You get butterflies in your stomach. Your hands get sweaty, right? You get sad, like I said. You tear up, right? Let's say, you know, you start to feel confused, right? Your head might just be swimming with thoughts. You start to, I guess, like, I don't know. Let's say for some reason, whenever you get confused, your nose tends to tighten up really bad, right? Your breathing constricts, so your chest might tighten up, right? All these are energies coming through, and then if you really try and hold it back, it just gets worse, right? Because the energy can't come through. So bioenergetic catharsis specifically is a release of those energies. So should you do it? Yes, I'd absolutely recommend it. If you can find a quiet place, just out somewhere where you can just completely let out, you know, and just go, then do it. Get your body moving and react crazily, because it'll help a lot. With all those energies you built inside of you, you'd be surprised what you'd be letting out. So that's my advice to you as far as bioenergetics. Obviously, this isn't something you want to do every time you have a reaction. This is just something I would say if you feel you have a lot of trapped shit inside of you, or if you're just having such an intense reaction that day that you need to go. You know what I'm saying? So, my take on bioenergetics, I love the practice. I've done it since like 8th grade when I first heard about it. I'm a senior now in high school. So it's a really good practice. I like it a lot. It's great. So yeah, hopefully that kind of gives you a little more insight on what was going on in that video. And I'm going to talk to y'all next time with some good shit coming out this month, man. So if you're not subscribed and you really want some nofap or motivation and short scenes coming out, if you like that, hit that subscribe button, because it's coming. Talk to y'all next time.